Welcome back, guys. Today, for whatever reason, I feel a little shy. I don't know what it is. I've done this intro a couple of times and it's not going through today. But I decided I'm gonna laugh about it. We're gonna keep on moving forward. That's the whole point of my channel, right? To be more personable, to be more human, especially with AI becoming such a big thing now. I'm definitely starting to love AI though, and it's starting to help me out. Figure out how I would like to process things and mentally be more productive by streamlining what it is I want to do. And it keeps me motivated to keep on coming back and doing these videos, which I think beforehand I used to always feel like I was overthinking it. I was always thinking and not doing, not acting, not recording myself, finding some kind of excuse. But regardless, what I actually wanted to talk about today was the book that I've been listening to through Audible, Never Finished by David Goggins. And I believe I just recently finished chapter 2. I'm getting into chapter 3 into the podcast. And he dives deep a little bit into Hell Week. And he starts going into detail about what he says are split-second decisions that are extremely important that we need to start becoming aware of and when to actually take these. Because at the end of the day, when he was going through Hell Week, although that was 132 hours or somewhere along those lines of tough endurance, he realized that every single challenge, every single day, it was every single second that mattered. And I think he quoted it was almost over 300,000 seconds, 320,000 seconds that he would need to win on a daily basis mentally. In order for him to do that, he needed an alter ego. He goes on to explain how, we all think of ourselves, right? We think of ourselves as this person who has these beliefs, these goals, but we also have vulnerabilities, we also have weaknesses, we also have these dark thoughts in the back of our mind that makes us want to stop, that makes us want to stop moving forward or being productive or staying where it's comfortable. And he says that he needed to create an alter ego, which is Goggins, right? David Goggins is him, the weak person. I mean, that could be like me, Carlos, right? Like that's the weak person, but I've created the busy bee mindset. That's my alter ego. That's the guy on top of me that has to hold me to my standards, the guy that I want to try to aspire to be. That's what he's talking about. He's talking to how the word Goggins was his alter ego, like Goggins doesn't play. Whenever he starts and whatever he's doing, he's gonna go ahead and accomplish that and finish that, no matter what. He doesn't make any compromises. And he started realizing that he would need that alter ego to push him through these seconds of endurance and toughness that he was going through in Hell Week. He needed that alter ego to remind him of his goal, because while he was going through that, and if Hell Week alone is pretty tough. I've never been through it, but I've definitely seen some documentaries. I've definitely read and heard the audibles, and it's extremely intense. Like, you have to be a certain type of individual to go through that. So extreme respect to those people, because, oh my God. But this dude Goggins had to go through it 3 times before he actually succeeded. So you can already imagine the mental battle and fortitude he needed to have to keep on pushing through this, knowing what he had to overcome. Sometimes though, knowing is what makes you scared, knowing that you have to go through that. But he realized through his experience and through every failure that you need to make split-second decisions in moments when you want to quit. Sometimes it's okay to take a knee and take a breath, because it's very chaotic in the moment. It's very stressful. There's a lot of outside life stressors that are going on. Sometimes in battle, not during Hell Week, but sometimes in battle, you just have bullets flying at you and you don't know where to go, but you need to take a knee, dissect everything, re-strategize, and keep on moving forward. that alter ego that he has is the guy that remembers what his goals are, is the guy that remembers where he used to be, and is the guy who remembers that, sorry, I almost just stepped in mud, and is the guy who remembers that you can't just stay stagnant, you can't just stay stuck. You have to keep moving forward. You have to remember the goal. You have to remember the consequences that are going to happen if you don't do anything right now. So is it worth it? Is it worth it to go through this pain and struggle if you already know what you're going to go back to? And so for me, I need to use that for my busy bee mindset. Sometimes even at work, I get lost in the calls. I get just so frustrated that I can't do anything over these uncontrollable factors of mine. But at the same time, I know that whatever it is that you focus on in life, that's what it is that is going to attract to you. And it's hard for me to always be positive. I want to be positive. I want to attract it. That's why I make these videos. That's why I listen to these audibles, and that's why I pursue sales. And sometimes the negativity really weighs down on me. But that's why I'm doing this right now. I said, no, it's my day off. I can't just sit down on the inside, because the busy bee is the one that I want to be. I want to be that kind of person of myself. I want to be the person that moves forward and keeps on tackling these hard endeavors, these hard times. And when you really think about it, it's like, oh my God, dude, these are like first world problems, I swear. I'm in a good position, but I like to be impatient. I think every human being is impatient. But I digress. The book goes on to talk about a little bit more of his physical training and how he can apply that to his mental toughness. And he discusses how when he was training through running, he would train heart zone rates as well, and controlling certain heart zone rates while he's working out. And he goes on to explain that if you know anything about heart rate zones, the best way that he can explain it is zone rate 1 and 2 are extremely steady. For me, I would assume that's me doing what I'm doing right now, just doing a leisurely walk that I'm used to, that I'm accustomed to. I can do this for a good long time, okay? But zone rate 5 would compare it to maybe Usain Bolt running through the Olympics, trying to beat his world record, which is already insane. That's an extreme level of a heart rate zone that you need to maintain to get that going. And so he goes on to explain that he's noticed that zone rate 5 is unsustainable. You can't do anything like that. That's adrenaline going through your body, and you're running into a house on fire trying to save somebody. You can't maintain life like that. But you can maintain zone rate 2. People used to always tell him, why are you running so slow? Like, why aren't you being faster? And his whole thing is, listen, you can train speed, that's okay, but that's not sustainable. The reason I'm able to do these 125-mile runs week after weeks is because I'm going at a zone rate 2 and I'm outpacing it. I'm able to load more miles on my body rather than burn it out. And in the long run, that means I end up beating them, and I end up getting faster by doing that. Sorry, I look like the video cut out. I didn't want it to lag that much. But he started understanding that you can manage your zones, your heart rates, and you can manage where you want to put your effort in and focus on. And he understood that you can also do that with your mentality. We have these mental zones of ourselves. We have these mental zones of having extremely high stress. Well, I think the video is cutting out a little bit, sorry. But these zones of having extremely high stress, like figuring out finances or personal relationship stuff, or all these things that maybe are uncontrollable factors that we have in our mind, and we call that like zone 5. And then we have these nice, relaxed, comfortable states like zone 2, where we can maintain what we're doing, keep on going, knowing that we're moving forward. So we can actually compartmentalize our mental and try to focus on remembering how to be in zone 2, remembering the feeling of zone 2, and remembering that's what we're trying to move towards. And an analogy that he used that I resonated the best with me, and then I'll leave you with that, is a garage. I feel like everybody knows somebody who has an extremely dirty garage. Maybe you're that person. Currently I am, because I have roommates and our garage is absolutely crazy. But when you have somebody that comes in and organizes it, and trust me, I've organized that garage before, but with a bunch of roommates, it just ends up deorganizing again. And it's a big task to refix it all. But whenever you do organize it, you get so much more space, you get so much more clarity, you get so much more declutteredness that it's like, wow, I can actually fit a car again in this room. I can actually use this room. And with us, we can do the same thing with our mind. We can compartmentalize, we can reorganize and reallocate where we want these stressors to be, or how we're supposed to be feeling in our mental zones, and try to get back to that mental zone 2. Because when you free up all that space and you actually compartmentalize in your brain, you give your space more opportunity to be creative, to be productive, to be on moving forward. You know, again, all of these are raw, unedited videos. Sometimes I come on here, I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about. But then I just start going and it just starts flowing. And that's what I wanted to leave you guys with today, right? If you guys took anything out of this video, maybe it was just the fact that, you know, in the moments where it's tough, we can just self-analyze and figure out what exactly it is that's causing that, and figuring out a way how we can bring ourselves back to where we want to be, and remember using like an alter ego to guide us towards the standard and individual that we want to be. For me, that's the busy bee. For David, that was Goggins. For you, I don't know what it could be. It's whatever you choose for it to be. But that's all I have. You know, I'm running a blank now, but if you stayed this long, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the content. I mean, subscribe, like, comment, you know the drill. I love you guys, and until next time, peace.